stop. She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop. She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop. She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop. She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop.
What's up, y'all? What is up? I had to jump on here, baby, because this going down and Simon has spoken and we gotta get into it. How is everybody doing? Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and share the video. We ain't hardly got nobody in here, probably because I don't, I haven't been going live, but y'all, I want to jump quickly into the video. And, I just love when the receipts be receipting, because now I can go back to what I had said the entire time, because Simon has spoken. And y'all, we want to get into it because Simon has said that Porsha Williams was definitely at him during his divorce. Now, let me break it down for the people in the back. When he say that Porsha was at him during his divorce, y'all do know that that means that that man was married. Simon has spoken. It's really a small kind of interview, but y'all, let's get into it, because I received this letter from Porsha internet attorney, and he said, like, I had made this shit up, and I'm just laughing, because how could I make up that Porsha was messing with somebody's husband? Now, that would be crazy, because from what I understand, I learned it just like everybody else learned it. But Porsha, I know you here, girl. So how do you and your attorney feel? Because you said that I made it up, and I didn't make shit up. But your husband, well, he's your ex-husband now. Porsha, your ex-husband said that you were in his DMs trying to get with him during his divorce. Now, let's back it up again for the people in the back. Now, if somebody said you was at them during their divorce, that means that they was married. Okay, Porsha. So you was in this married man's DM, and you wonder why your marriage didn't work. Well, did you want it to work, Porsha? Because according to Simon said that you targeted him, Porsha. And you know what Simon said? He said that Porsha, in so many words, is dirty and low down, because he said that Porsha uses, or tried to use, her child to get him back. Now, if y'all watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Porsha said that I text Simon and I said that Pilar missed him. Simon said she sure did. And he said he didn't respond because Porsha had realized that she effed up and she wanted him back. He said at that point, he had already decided to go about his business. Okay. So Simon has spoken, and it is so funny because Porsha says that she did not target this woman's husband. Well, Simon said that you did. So what you gonna say now? Porsha. So y'all, let's get into it because again, y'all, this is so hilarious because you try to make it seem like I made this up and I didn't make shit up. I mean, I was just reading what everybody else was reading, but y'all, let's get into it. Hey, chat, let's listen to this together. Let's listen to it together. This video is courtesy of page 6. Let's get into it.
Do you regret marrying her?
Absolutely. I said to her in one of my text messages to her, because she didn't respond because I kept asking her, why did you file for divorce? And she wouldn't say anything. I tried to reach her mom. Her mom would not respond either. I later figured out this felt like a coup. When I don't know if you're familiar with. I'm familiar. I say it because I'm from Nigeria, and that we were ruled at one point by the military, and so every so often when you want to change leadership, the president, you stage a coup.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. I was totally blindsided. I was no member of her family, whether on the mother's side or on the father's side, reached out to me. And the only person I actually reached out to was her mom. And
okay, guys, so get into it. So Simon pretty much said Porsha filed for divorce and she cut off communication with him. Not only did she do that, so did her relatives. But then at some point she realized that she had effed up, okay, because she tried to come back, and he's going to tell that story. So Porsha in court made it seem like she tried to resolve things with Simon. Now, if y'all remember, I mentioned to you guys that Simon's attorney said, Porsha, why didn't you go to mediation? Because within their prenuptial agreement, it does say that they had, that they were supposed to go to mediation, but for some reason it was avoided. Now, listening to what Simon is saying, the mediation was simply avoided because Porsha didn't want to be married to him. She really wanted this divorce and she wanted it very badly. And that is the reason why she had cut off all communication with Simon, because she wanted to hurry up divorce and get her a free house. But at some point, she realizes that things were not going as planned.
She didn't respond. And so I essentially sent her a text message. I said this was a $5 million rehab project that I took on. She never shared her concerns or issues with me before filing for divorce. If you're married, I've been married quite a bit. I think I understand a little bit about the dynamics of, I should understand a little bit about the dynamics of a relationship. You discuss issues and say, hey, if this does not change or something does not happen, this is what might come of it. Mm-hmm. We never had those discussions, and I'm happy to share with you text messages where I was essentially blindsided.
So you're married, right? You decide to file for divorce. Generally, in every situation, if you got to divorce this fool, it's because you done said it 99,000 times. And at this point, he just not listening. And you feel like you're not listening to me. Simon said, I hate when I have to say Simon said, but Simon said Porsha never tried to basically let him know what was going on. He's going to say in this interview, listen, I've been married a lot of times. I understand the structure of marriage. And if there is a, issue, we try to work through the issue. Simon said he was pretty much blindsided. Not only was he blindsided, her family kind of cut off all communication with regards to talking to him.
By the divorce fight.
I was actually going to ask you if this was something that you saw coming, if conversations had been had prior. What do you think Porsha's reason was to file for divorce?
I think I was targeted.
Boom. He said he was targeted. What were you targeted for, Simon? Maybe a little bit of cash, maybe a little bit of ass for cash.
In what
Uh,
way?
I was targeted from day one for financial reasons. When I filed for divorce from my previous, ex-wife, she was in my DM praying for me.
DM. Wait a minute. Did Simon just say that when he was going through a divorce from Falynn, that Porsha was in his DM praying for him? Y'all let me know in the chat if you reach out to a married man and tell him I'm gonna pray for you. I'm praying for you. Yes, I'm praying on you. Preying. Simon is saying that Porsha was in his DM telling him, I'm gonna pray. Preying. I'm praying for you. How are you in another married man, in a married man's DM, telling him you're going to pray for him? But you say that you did not mess with that lady husband. Go on and tell it, Simon.
And I think I was in a vulnerable position at that time, and I entertained it. And so it just kind of snowballed from there, getting engaged in 30 days.
Okay, so Simon left out this part because y'all know how men is. They love a big booty and smile. He saw that big juicy booty, honey, and he was like, "Yes, yes." Simon, you telling a little lies with some truth now, because she was in your DM, but you was thinking about that big juicy booty. Let's just tell the truth. It is okay, because you married her in 30 days because you wanted to have fun with that juicy booty. Go ahead, Simon, and tell the truth.
Who does that? I was out of my goddamn mind to have done that, and of course I'm paying dearly for it.
Wow. That brings me to my next topic. There was some reports stating that the judge overseeing your divorce case has upheld the prenup that you guys signed before entering marriage. Are you able to share a little bit about what those terms are or look like?
That you receive $40,000 a month in alimony for the
hoe got you for $40,000 a month because you wanted to play in that big juicy booty. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, because Simon, you gotta take just some responsibility, because you can't be wanting to play in somebody's booty to the point that it cost you.
Length of the marriage, which was 14 months.
Okay.
She gets to stay in the house, all expenses paid, including the mortgage, through for 36 months, up to 36 months. And if she chooses to own the home, she would have to refinance the property in her name and take a 50% equity. She would have to give me 50% equity in the home.
Wow. What what is your reaction to that ruling and that decision?
It's basically what I've held from day one about this case. When I realized that I was targeted, I've had prenups in previous relationship, and I've honored those prenups without reservation.
Now, Simon says that combination has to go. So Simon is saying that he was targeted. Here's the deal. You may have been targeted, but she couldn't target you for nothing that you wasn't willing to give up. So y'all had some type of agreement, and I'm not sure why anybody, because nobody in Atlanta but you would do this. You agreed to pay. No, you were Nobody. Hurt, broken, on drugs. Nobody was doing this but you. So you got to take some responsibility. I mean, Porsha been around, you got a bunch of you. I mean, it's a big booty, but it's a very used one. So you got to take responsibility, Simon.
This time around, I've chosen to challenge in court all the way to the Supreme Court if I have to. This enforcement of the prenup is going to continue to receive legal challenges on the appeal front.
Okay.
I know y'all heard that. He is going to take this to wherever, the Supreme Court, wherever, because he said he ain't paying this whole nothing. But I mean, again, I get it, Simon, you were tricked, but here's the deal. You are an older man. You ain't dumb. So, it was maybe, booty for tricks, cash for ass. I don't know. Porsha may have tricked you, but y'all kind of tricked each other because Porsha ain't that smart. So I don't know how she could have tricked you that much, but tell your story. Tell your story.
So you're vowing to appeal this decision for sure.
1000% is going to be appealed.
One of the things that has recently kind of come out is that Porsha said she paid child support for your children.
Okay. Y'all, I don't know if y'all watch this, but I want to stop this now because there has been information online, and this is why I don't like talking about stuff that other people say because I don't know if it's true or if it's validated. Okay. So there has been this information online that said that Porsha did not pay this man's child support. That is a lie. Okay. And this is why when y'all send me stuff, I look at it, but I don't go behind other people with what they say because whoever put out this lie that Porsha did not pay the child support, it is a lie. I'm not going to sit up here and lie on her. I know y'all think I don't like her, and I don't, but the thing of it is she did pay the child support. You got to give a girl credit for what she did. She paid the child support, and this is how I know she did. Listen to what Simon said. So stop believing these lies that these people come and create these videos and lying because based on what Simon said, Porsha, in fact, did pay the child support. Let's get into it.
And while you were in ICE custody, what is your reaction to that?
She sent her two $2,500 payments in 1 month, and that.
Okay. Porsha said she paid his child support. He just verified. Porsha sent his child's mother, I don't know which child, two $2,500 payments. She paid the child support. So again, I know somebody lying online talking about Porsha didn't pay the child support. Simon said she did pay the child support. Again, this is why when y'all be sending me stuff, I just be looking at it because that is a lie. The woman did pay the child support.
That was it. That didn't even necessarily cover anything. I heard for the first time in court that had happened. And I immediately text my ex-wife asking her, did she receive any funds from Porsha? She said yes, Porsha.
Okay. I want to stop it there because what y'all saying something about Porsha didn't pay his child support. He said she did pay it. So somebody said the blogger did not say she didn't pay. Okay, so they didn't say she didn't pay. Okay, so y'all was sending me stuff saying that Porsha didn't pay his child support. I don't know, but Simon said she did pay it. So that's what I'm trying to clear up because people are, y'all sending me stuff saying Porsha lied. She really didn't pay his child support. According to Simon, she did pay the child support. That's the only thing, that I'm trying to say here. Because I know y'all want me to do a video and say she didn't pay it, but I don't know. Like I told you all, she testified in court that she paid it. She didn't, provide any proof, but I guess this is all the proof you need because Simon is saying that she, in fact, did pay the child support. So it was paid.
She reached out to her and offered to give those funds to her. In my opinion, it not it wasn't done in good faith. It was done to give a narrative in court or to the public that I paid Simon's um, um, I paid Simon's child support.
Did Porsha have a
Okay, I see what y'all saying. You all are saying that what it was Porsha reached out to her to pay it versus the lady reaching out to Porsha. Okay, got it. I understand what y'all saying. I see. Okay, because I was so confused. Like, what are y'all saying? Okay, I got it. So Porsha reached out. Okay, well, that makes sense because what Simon is saying is what Porsha did, it wasn't that she was doing it out of the kindness of her heart. If y'all heard her testimony, what she said was, I didn't want the kids to go, without. She pretty much wanted to step in there and assist. But I guess what y'all is saying is that she reached out. Got it. Okay. She reached out to, got it. Okay. I got you. Okay. Thank you.
a relationship with this son of yours that she sent his mother money for?
Not particularly. My boys um, were with were with me for the last 5+ years. They've been.
But here's one thing that she definitely lied about. Simon just testified that Porsha had no real relationship with his children. But in court, she testified like she loved those kids, that, she wanted to basically help them. But as y'all can see, Simon is saying, wait a minute, my children had no type of relationship with Porsha. So, Porsha.
With me 1 week on, 1 week off. And quite frankly, my kids don't care who daddy's married to or who daddy's dating. And she never developed any particular relationship with my kids. They came and we all did family things together, but there's not one particular child that she has a personal relationship with.
Do you feel that you have a relationship with her daughter?
I don't have a relationship with her daughter, simply because I've in the past, I found myself where when I separate from any of my exes with children, there's a tendency for them to use their children to get back at me, to come, to try to come back into my life. And Porsha is no exception. She sent me a text telling me that her daughter misses me, and I didn't respond because there was a concerted effort at some point that she realized she had made a mistake, and wanted to reconcile at that point.
Did y'all hear that? So doesn't that give insight to what Porsha said? If y'all remember, Porsha said on the show, she said, I sent him a text. And she mentioned that the text had something to do with her daughter wanting to see him. Simon is saying that Porsha used her daughter to try to re-enter back into his life. Ain't that a mess? Ain't that a mess? So Simon said one of the reasons pretty much that he did not respond to Porsha is simply because he felt as if Porsha was using her daughter, y'all, to try and come back into his good graces. Y'all know how people say, the kids, and you start feeling warm and fuzzy. Oh, I miss little such and such. So Simon said he avoided her. So when Porsha sent that text message about her daughter wanting to pretty much talk to Simon, he said he intentionally avoided her. He did not respond, which again makes a lot of sense because that's the same thing Porsha said. If y'all recall, on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, she said, we reached out to Simon and he ignored my daughter. Well, Simon said the same thing. So we know for a fact that that actually happened. Now, isn't all of this crazy that Simon is coming out to actually say that Porsha was in his DMs? Now, we heard that story before, but we also heard, as to where Porsha was saying or alluding to Shamea actually introducing them. Now, I don't know how that went, but now we can definitely say that Porsha was in this man's DM as he stated he was going through a divorce, which means he was still married. Very, very interesting because Porsha recently, she did an interview and this is what she said. Let's get into what she said. Victim.
I can't connect with other men. It's like people trying to introduce me, but it's just when it's not the same, it's not the same. So I'm going to do it different this time. I'm going to be alone until I'm whole. And then when I'm whole, then I will, open myself back up so I don't make the same mistake again. When you go through a bad enough breakup, you're like, I don't like nobody. Like, you're like, I don't like nobody. I was sitting there, I was like, do I like women enough? Can I get with a woman? Like, who can come in and fill this void? Like, oh my God, somebody. I have got to be able to sit with someone and feel a part of what I felt with him. But I don't yet. It'll come. It'll come. But I'm like, and I think that it's lonely. And I think that now that I'm realizing that, because what I've decided is that I'm not going to look for it anymore. So I'm not going to push myself into dating or anyone or trying to figure out, who do I like? Who can I be around? Because this is probably also part of healing. I mean, just sitting with this, sitting with being alone, sitting with the loss and let myself heal the loss. And I know I'm crying right now, but I feel good every day, each day. I get better each day. I feel stronger. But I ain't gonna lie, it's hard. It's hard living lonely when you have to live lonely for a while. And I think that, well, now that my divorce is finalized, yes, I'm finally able to exhale. I really am. It comes with mixed feelings. It's probably more of it's not like a smooth, it's like, because it's not smooth yet. It's kind of surreal. I mean, divorces are so long and drawn out and so ugly. But I'm just glad not to be in the fight anymore. I'm glad not to battle anymore. I really hope that I can just send love out and be done with fighting and protecting myself and being in defense mode. I'm just ready to move on and live. I really am. I'm ready for what's next. I really, really am. And I forgive myself and I truly forgive him. And I'm done with the animosity. And I'm done with what could have been. And I'm also done fantasizing about what it could have been. Because when you have a marriage like mine that felt so perfect, you often, after the breakup, fantasize about how perfect it could have been and what you could have done different. And I'm okay now with how everything has happened. And I'm good.
Porsha acts like she was married for 10 years. Girl, you were married for 14 months because the 15th month you filed for divorce. You were married for 4 months, not 1 years, 14 months. And you are so you can't get it together. I mean, I would guess. I mean, if somebody was giving me $40K a month, I guess I would need to get over that shit too. But here's the deal. Simon said that Porsha was in his DM during his divorce. But guess what? Falynn had a lot to say about Porsha as well. So it's very interesting. We can't just put this on just Simon, because what did Falynn say about Porsha and Simon? Now, I'm going to tell y'all what she said. In this interview, which is coming from Baller Alert, Falynn said that Porsha and Simon had been messing around 1 year before their divorce, I believe, something like that. She also stated that the information came from Porsha's baby daddy. Now, let's get into that because it's not just Simon saying that Porsha was messing with a married man, because that's what he said. He said he was going through a divorce. What's going through a divorce? It means that you're married. Well, Falynn also said that Porsha was messing with her husband, and she said she found out through Dennis. Let's get into it.
He might have thought could have been authentic or something could have grown. I don't know their business, but yeah, the initial, I guess them becoming public and doing everything the way that they went about everything. Yeah, that was definitely a ploy because they were already together they were dating for a year while I was happily married.
Wait a minute. Say that again now, Falynn. Falynn said that Simon and Porsha was dating a year during the time she was married to him. So how I made that shit up, because I found out the same thing everybody else found out. So this is Falynn, the woman that was married to the man that Porsha is now divorced from. And she said that Porsha was messing with her husband. But let's get into why she's saying that, or possibly where did she get the information from?
And that came from Dennis's mouth.
So, wait a minute.
You ever thought about dating?
That came from whose mouth? Oh, we got to hear that again. That came from who?
Their business. But yeah, the initial, I guess them becoming public and doing everything the way that they went about everything. Yeah, that was definitely a ploy because they were already together they were dating for a year while I was happily married. And that came from Dennis's mouth.
Did y'all hear that? That came from her baby daddy. Now, Dennis, I saw this video already. I just wanted to bring it up for y'all. So Falynn said that Dennis told her that Porsha and her man, which was her husband, was messing around a year prior to. Now, the interview gets interesting because what Falynn goes into saying is that Dennis said that he thought that Falynn knew because everybody knew that Porsha was allegedly messing with Falynn's husband.
You ever thought about dating him?
That's how you do it.
Like swap it out.
I don't think Dennis can keep up with me.
Oh.
To be honest with you. I think I'm a little out of his bracket, but he's awesome. He's really cool.
Well, they're filming The Housewives now. Could you have an appearance?
Okay, y'all, we're not even gonna get into the X part, but what she actually said is, and it's, if you guys go and watch this video, Falynn goes into saying that Dennis told her the reason that he thought that she knew that Porsha Williams from Real Housewives was messing with her husband. He said because everybody knew, and he assumed that Falynn knew as well. So everybody couldn't be lying, Porsha, because your husband, the man that he's saying you used him for moolah, he said that you DM'd him when he was married. And we heard that story before. That story was told, but I think maybe they try to camouflage it and say, oh, he was divorced. Well, Simon said he wasn't divorced. He said he was going through the divorce process with his wife when Porsha jumped in his DM. Porsha jumped into another woman's husband DM to try to get with that woman's husband. Now, that is some trashy shit, Porsha. That is not ladylike. And I hope you're not teaching your daughter that type of move. So tell me, how did you think that your marriage was going to last when you single-handedly ruined somebody else's? Now, I'm not saying that Simon and Falynn, maybe they still would have got a divorce, but who goes creeping with somebody's husband? I mean, that's real trashy like. And not only that, just recently on this season of Real Housewives, you were telling Angela that you wanted to F her husband. So I'm just scratching my head, Porsha, because I don't understand why you continue to find yourself in these situations. We want to give you grace, but it's really hard to give you grace when you keep repeating the same behavior. And even Angela said in her interview, she said, if you could F her husband, she said she believed that you would. But what Angela also said is she knows that her man, he don't want it. So that's pretty much what Angela said. Right. So we trying to give Porsha grace, but baby, we know that you was messing with that lady's husband. Now I know, you hate it and you don't want people to talk about it, but girl, we gonna talk about it, Porsha. Your husband has spoken and he say you used him for financial gain, but in all honesty, I really believe that Simon and Porsha, I think they kind of both played each other, because this is how I look at a man Simon's age. He's older. He's running all of these business. He's bringing in loads of income. I don't believe that he was that dumb. I believe that he let his guard down because possibly he maybe felt like Portia's, her TV stuff can maybe open up more doors for him. Maybe that's what he thought. And I think, it kind of didn't work out that way. Not sure what happened, but Porsha, she filed for divorce. So I feel like Simon, he may be a little angry because he probably feels like he didn't get his bargain, because there's no way that Simon is going to agree to pay Porsha, or any other woman for that matter, that type of money just because of her booty, because they all around Atlanta, they just bottom jokers. Okay. So Simon, I feel like he probably did like Porsha, but I also feel like Simon felt like Portia's celebrity reality TV stuff, I feel like he thought that that could very well benefit him. And I feel like with that, he probably said, yeah, yes, I will agree to, this and that. But he probably, maybe he thought, that Porsha really loved him. Maybe he thought that. But essentially, I really believe that they kind of use each other. What y'all saying in the chat? Well, I just feel like they used each other. I mean, there's no way that Simon, with his experience, I mean, he's been married multiple times. That man got some experience under his belt. Somebody said, why did Falynn divorce? I'm not sure, but somebody put in the chat that Porsha divorced him because she didn't find out about his ED until after they divorced. Well, that couldn't possibly be true, because I'm sure she was already smashing him before they got married. So she would have known about his ED, because I could bet you everything that Porsha didn't wait until she married him to sleep with him. So I don't know about that. T sent photos of her and Lauren at the hotel with him prior to Fallon's divorce. Exactly. So, I mean, I'm sold that Porsha definitely, based on what everybody is saying, that she had to have been in some type of relationship with this man because he said it. I mean, he said she DM'd him, during his, his divorce. But then if you listen to Fallon's interview, Fallon said, no, they were actually messing around a year prior. And it goes back to everything that I said. Simon is not stupid. He's not slow. Everything he agreed to give Porsha was everything that he agreed to give Porsha. It's not like she, plagiarized his name and stole it. He agreed to give her these things. But I feel like now he may just feel like he got played just a little bit, especially with everything that's coming out. Y'all got to understand. People have been saying that Porsha was allegedly messing around with multiple men. Simon also had some kind of proof that she had been on the phone and talking to various people at different times. So he essentially may feel like she played him. But I feel like when they went into this, they kind of, I'm sure Porsha probably went into it for money. She saw dollar signs and he probably saw opportunity, and that's pretty much what I think. Somebody said, do you think Simon is going to take care of her and pay her the money? What you think, Paulette? What y'all think? Do y'all think Simon is going to take care of her and pay her the money? I guess you don't listen to my videos. I mean, what you think, Paulette? I mean, what you think, girl? Porsha may have had a hard time finding a rich man to marry her. These men talk so once they catch wind of what happened with Simon. Well, word on the street. Now, word on the street is like allegedly. This is what I've been told, that Shamea, she got her husband. Life is great, yada, yada. What I've been told is that Shamea and Porsha used to go out allegedly and they was looking for rich men, however you do it, however they did it. And essentially Shamea, she met her dude. So what I was told is that Porsha wanted that same life. And maybe, she thought that Simon was her opportunity and it didn't work. But in all honesty, if you married him, why did you divorce? So I'm not sure, what Porsha was seeking when she filed for the divorce. Because even if y'all listen to Simon's video, he said she later wanted to reconcile. And that's truth, because if you guys watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Porsha did a scene, and in her scene, she talked about trying to reach out to Simon's relatives. Did anybody remember that episode? And she said Simon's relatives was basically telling her they didn't really want to have anything to do with it. So how Porsha explained it is, she said generally, with their, nationality or whatever. I don't know very much about Nigerians. She mentioned that, if there was a break in the marriage, you can reach out and then they'll try to smooth things over. But what happened with Porsha is they was like, nope, let the legal system handle it. So at one point she filed for divorce and realized, hey, we need to reconcile. And at that point, Simon was like, no, we're going to keep on with the divorce. So I don't know what happened there, but I will tell y'all what the street said. Now, this is all alleged. I don't know about this part. Now, what they said is that Porsha was messing around with multiple men, not one, two, three. It's multiple. Now, if you go and look in some of those documents, even online, Simon started naming different men, and we kind of talked about that before. But they also stated that one of those guys that she was allegedly messing around with, that she thought that possibly she was going to be able to move forward with that dude, and it didn't work. I don't know how true that is. Camille says he has no reason to pay her. He has no business in the United States, therefore nothing can be garnished. And that is that you're right, because like I said, I learned a lot of stuff in court. What I did learn in court is that Simon, because somebody was saying, oh, she can garnish. Yeah, I don't think so. Because from what I remember, he has moved everything. So there is nothing here for her to collect. So if he decide to pay, bless his heart, because I wouldn't pay shit. But if he decides to pay, bless his soul, because nobody else would. But if he decides to pay, he pays. Y'all got to understand the man is in a different country. This is the United States. That's Nigeria. It don't work like that. So if he paid, bless his heart. If he didn't, it's nothing nobody can do about it. Somebody said, don't he have to pay the mortgage? What if he don't pay it? What they gonna do? He in Nigeria. I mean, he's not in the United States. If y'all are familiar with the United States, they can hold your tail in contempt of court, which means you didn't follow the court's order. Potentially, they can make him pay. They can put him in jail, but they can't go to Nigeria and get him. So, does he have to pay? I don't know. What y'all think? Well, here's the deal. Even if he came back to the United States, it would be over, because essentially, if he does not pay, what's going to happen is, keep in mind, he's in another country. They ain't issuing a warrant for his arrest. None of that is going to happen. What's going to happen is Porsha is going to take control of the property. When she sells it, it just means he won't get his half. That's all it means. So even if he came back to the United States, it will be a done deal, because then Porsha would just keep his equity. Keep in mind, with the property, they're supposed to split the equity. It's only going to be split if he keeps his bargain of the deal. If he don't pay the mortgage, if he don't pay whatever is in that prenuptial agreement, then essentially, she would be able to keep his portion. So that's pretty much how it goes. So nothing is going to happen to him. Nothing. He's not in the United States. There's nothing that they can do, for somebody. He don't live here. What y'all think? They gonna send the federal police to Nigeria? Like, what y'all think gonna happen? So here's the deal. And I know we done had this conversation before about the house. I tend to believe what I hear. And when I hear stuff that don't make sense, I tend to say, well, here's the deal. Porsha was asked in court how much was the mortgage. She didn't seem to know. So my theory is, if you paid it, wouldn't you at least know how much the mortgage was? Now, if y'all remember Simon's testimony, Simon knew how much the mortgage was. So I don't know why Porsha didn't know, but I'm just saying, if you paid it, wouldn't you know how much it was? I believe she said then, oh, it's about 20,000, but that property, it would be more than 20. If y'all recall, when Simon testified, he said 50. He said it's about 50 with everything. So have she been paying it? She said she has, but I wouldn't think that she did. But she seemed to think that she's been paying it. When she sells and keeps his half, so yeah, if he doesn't pay anything, if he doesn't pay her the alimony, if he doesn't pay for the upkeep of the house, essentially, then what is she going to split with him? But y'all heard his interview. He said that he is going to appeal this thing. So who knows? I mean, if it's overturned, I don't know. We have to just wait and see. But at this point, they're going to move forward. What if she sells it before the appeal? I don't know. Good question. But what I do know is he's in another country. If he didn't pay it, then it just wouldn't be paid. It's nothing that is going to happen to him. So somebody said, this is why I laugh when people want big things. You got to be living that lifestyle. Yep. And that's why I tell people I live under my budget. not over, way under. So some people want to, floss and make it seem like they have stuff that they really can't afford. Now, one of y'all put in a chat about the car. Now, and I spoke about the Rolls Royce. So let me kind of tell y'all what I've learned about the Rolls Royce. The Rolls Royce has expired tags. It is a lease, and that is the car that he essentially gave Porsha. People lease cars all the time, but the issue with the lease is that car was supposed to be a car that he is supposed to just buy and give to her. Is he going to do it? I don't know. Well, why is the plates expired and the registration? I'm sorry. Why is the registration expired? So I don't know. Is he going to do it? Who knows? The amount of money, I want to see that comment that just went up. Let me just see that. Let me see the amount of money that he has lost in the whole transaction with Porsha. He is willing to wash his hands of it. Doesn't he have $300 million anyway? I mean, he must got a lot of money, honey, because he still want to fight it. You know what I mean? So he could very well just wash his hands and, walk away. As y'all saw in his interview, he said that he's going to continue to fight. So that ain't giving broke to me. I mean, he's like, look, I'm going to continue to fight. He wants to continue to fight. So be it. I guess they going back to court. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Simon should put the house in his son's name. Well, here's the deal. Okay, so if Simon does not transfer this property to a trust, the courts will do it. So he can really put it in whoever name he wants to put it in, because the court is going to transfer this property into a trust into both of their names, because that's what the prenuptial agreement says. That's why the people kept coming for him. They didn't even want him in the United States. Somebody said he won't win. I mean, maybe he won't. I mean, he didn't win. He did not win. So just so you know, he lost. He sure did. So what he's saying is he's most definitely going to appeal it. And I mean, who knows? In all honesty, what I'm learning from these judges in Georgia, especially in this particular case, I feel like they're feeling like, look, you guys did a prenuptial agreement. Y'all got to understand, they negotiated this prenuptial agreement for about, I think they said 8, 9, 10, I think they said 10 months. They were married for 14 months. And this is what the judge said. Y'all negotiated the prenup for as long as you were married. I mean, I don't know. I mean, will they overturn it? He gonna have to bring some evidence. He's going to have to bring some evidence to substantiate what it is he's asking. Because if y'all recall, in the last hearing that I went to, nobody brought nothing. And one of the things they said is, where is your proof? Like, if you don't make this amount of money anymore, where is your proof? And I'm with you, Boggs girl. You got to understand, you a judge, I believe what they make like 200 and some thousand, maybe 200 and some thousand. Some of them probably don't make that. Imagine sitting on a bench, you making 200 and some thousand, and somebody coming in your courtroom talking about they make 300 they're worth 300 million, and concerning you with a prenuptial agreement that they agreed to. I probably would not want to hear it either. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it is an agreement that they both sign. Now, I understand how Simon feels, because think about signing a prenup, getting married, and thinking you found the love of your life, and then finding out some things that you didn't know before and feeling like you've been hoodwinked. But here's the deal. This is what people have to understand. You get married, you in love. When you go through a divorce, it looked very different. So I feel like when they negotiated their prenup, Simon should have known what he would give her despite whatever the circumstances were. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. The courts cannot transfer and add Porsha, she would have to apply for a loan. Yeah, Sandra, honey, you don't know what you're talking about. The courts can and they will add her. So if Simon does not transfer the property in 30 days, the court will, and they said they will. They're giving him 30 days. So that's definitely not true. So just so y'all know, whenever a court tells you to do something, if you don't do it, they will most definitely do it. So the court will most definitely transfer the property in Porsha's name. Y'all got to understand, okay? Let's kind of understand. They went to court with regards to enforcing the prenuptial agreement. The judge said he's enforcing it. So within the prenuptial agreement, just so y'all know, Simon agreed to this. And I think that's the misunderstanding that everybody seems not to get. It's not like, Porsha is like, I want the house. They really agreed to this. So they agreed to this. So Simon agreed to it. Porsha agreed to it. So essentially, what she's asking for is really what they agreed to. We got to like be honest. Like, it's not like, she stole a house. He really agreed to these things. So, that's pretty much what it is. Again, I get what Simon is saying. Look, I don't want to, honor the prenup because Simon is saying he does not have the income that is going to sustain him as he originally did. But y'all got to understand, when people go through divorces, people lie. Now, I'm not saying that Simon is lying, but what I will tell you is the judge did not buy it. And I mean, I got those videos. The judge say, I'm not buying it. So the judge, he didn't believe it. Make sure y'all are hitting the like button. Let me check the likes, please. What y'all doing on likes? Can y'all like? Y'all not gonna like the video? Y'all tripping. So that is, I want to be, fair, although Porsha does get on my damn nerves because she does a little bit too much. She really does. But in all honesty, this is exactly what they agreed to. I feel like in this situation, if Simon was going to pay so much, maybe he should have put something in there like, I think Janet Jackson's husband said you got to be married. Was it 5 years or something? There was no stipulation in this, in this prenup that said, we need to be married for 3 years. After we're married for 3 years, I'll give you. You clearly just gave a woman $40,000 a month, and she really could have divorced you in month 3. So, at some point we got to take responsibility for, our own actions. And I get it. I mean, because I done met some knuckleheads in my life, but I didn't agree to get them shot. Okay. So unfortunately, this is one that he gonna have to live with, or he gonna have to take it back to court because I don't know. I don't know, if he will win an appeal. I don't know if this decision will be overturned. I don't know. He would just have to take her back to court and see what happens. Are y'all hitting the like button? Because why do y'all be so stingy with likes? Y'all act like, I said send $1,000 or something. Like, what's the problem? Hit the like button, please. We had about 1,000 people in here and we got like 200 likes. Do y'all understand when you're, when you're a YouTuber, this is how you get paid and y'all can't even hit the like button? What kind of people do I have in here? Like what type of folk are y'all? Y'all can't hit the like button. Let me look at this now. Y'all is tripping. And y'all still ain't hit the like button. It's still the same many likes. Oh my God, Lord help y'all. Y'all need some help. But we'll, like I said, we'll have to see, how it goes. And that's pretty much it. Simon just getting all that man karma come in different ways. God forgive me. You remember when he went to jail for stealing people's stuff? Man, what is you talking about? When he went to jail for stealing people's stuff. So now I caught up with him. Who went to jail for stealing people's stuff? Who? Are you talking about something he did 30 years ago? If so, please come on now. You got to come up with something better than that. Oh, you know what, Thelma? You are so right. I like that because you're right. I forgot about that. What people are failing to understand, Simon is not fighting the prenup because he don't want to pay. He is contesting the prenuptial agreement because she violated it. Now, that's true. That is very true. And in all honesty, that is what he said in court. Thank you, Thelma, for saying that because, girl, it's a lot and I really forgot. So, in all honesty, what Thelma said is correct. So Simon is contesting the prenuptial agreement. And in court, they brought up multiple reasons why he felt as if Porsha had violated the prenuptial agreement. Thank you so much for that because you are absolutely right. So Simon agreed to pay, you know, all these monies in the prenuptial agreement, but he don't want to pay or he's contesting it based on some things that Porsha did. Thank you so much. You are correct. You are so correct. Lakeysha, did Simon agree to giving her the house or she can live in the home 36 months and he pay all the bills? I thought okay, just saying OA. Okay, so let me tell you how it goes. So within the prenuptial agreement, right? Porsha can live there for 36 months. Now, 36 months means she lives there and he pays all the bills, which means, if it was me, if I was Porsha, why wouldn't you take advantage of those 36 months or get as close to it as possible because you ain't got to pay the mortgage, right? That would only make sense. So Porsha, by the 36th month, though, she would need to, one, sell the property. Now, if she sell the property, they bust that thing right down 50-50. Whatever the equity is left, let's say they sell a house and they get $1 million from the house because y'all do know it's a mortgage on there and you have to pay the mortgage. So let's say they pay the mortgage off and it's $1 million. They bust it down. She get 500, he get 500. Let's say Porsha say, I'm not going to sell the house. I'm going to live in the house. So what that means by month 36, because I don't know why she would do it before, but let's say she did it before, she would need to refinance or purchase, and she would need to get a mortgage in her name or get some cash, pay cash, however she does it. But what she would also have to do is give him his half of the equity. Essentially, it's the same thing. Porsha would get a loan, it would pay off the old mortgage, and then she would take out something, or she would give him a check, however, but she would give him still his portion of the equity of the home. That's what it means. But for 36 months, he said he would pay the bills. Yes. Now, the part about the 15 months, let me kind of explain that. So they were married for 15 months, but if you listen to Simon's interview, he said 14 months. So I'm thinking the 15 month is when she filed, right? So essentially what he's saying is they were really married for 14 because the 15th she filed, right? So what it also said in the prenup is that he would pay her, I believe it was $40,000 a month for every month that they were married. So being that they were married for 14, 15 months, then he would have to pay her the $40,000 for 14 to 15 months. That's what that means. I would appreciate it, Tiffany Dean, hair surgeon. Can y'all hit the like button? Like, what is wrong with y'all? Because I don't know. It looks the same to me. Let me just look again. I'm gonna quit asking y'all because I don't know. It just seemed like it ain't working. Y'all, are y'all okay in the chat? Damn, she feel short. She could have itched a little longer. Another rich man to say over the payment. She needs to go back to school. Listen, that's the hard knock life though. When you got to find a man, I just want to be self-sufficient. I don't know, but I guess it works for some people. They both were dishonest, and right now karma is knocking. Oops. They both were dishonest, and right now karma is knocking at his door. Karma will. I don't know what that means. But she said it went up. Okay, it's probably just my phone. But Yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. What y'all saying in the chat? That's too many people on the live not to hit the like button. Yeah, that's kind of how they are, Candy Girl. It's just it's the world of YouTube. It's like that's what they do. They both are the pleasures at its finest. I don't know. Here's my deal though. A woman with a small child and a daughter moving a man in your house, because if also what I also learned at court, and these are also on those recordings that I uploaded to my YouTube channel. What we also learned is that Porsha said that when she met Simon, he actually moved into her house. So before Simon purchased the property that she currently lives in, Porsha said that Simon moved into with her. And I was like, wow, Porsha, you let this man just move in your house with your daughter. I don't know. I guess. Tanya said, okay, Tanya D. Lewis. Now, okay, you said, how did she violate the prenup? Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I can remember because it's starting. I would probably have to go back and watch the videos because I'm starting to forget some of it. Okay, so this is what I learned. In their prenup, they are not supposed to talk about what it said in the, okay, so what it said in the prenup, this is one of the things that it says. I remember this. Simon did not want his house to be, filmed. He did not want to be filmed. He did not want any of his information to be made public because he is a businessman and he just didn't want it. So what Simon is saying is that Porsha violated the prenup for one. He's saying that she released information out to the media with regards to their divorce. Her attorney, his attorney stated that Porsha gave, right after she filed for divorce, that she gave it to, I think is US Weekly, something like that. People magazine. So they are alleging that Porsha leaked information out because she was the only one who would have had that information. So it was a lot of different things like that. One of the other things that it said within the prenup, and it said this, so I kind of didn't understand why the judge decided not to honor this. Within the prenup, it said that Porsha could not film in the house without getting his permission. Simon did not want to be filmed. He said he did not want his children to be filmed without his permission. So it was a lot of little nuances in the prenup. And, Simon's attorney did a really good job with calling that out. Where the issue came into play was that the judge was like, he really didn't want to hear it because the judge felt like they both violated the prenup. So the judge was like, whatever. He really didn't care for it. And also, y'all, what was very interesting, and this is what I learned, the judge did his research. The judge had been on Porsha's Instagram. The judge had been on Simon's Instagram. The judge even had been watching Porsha's videos on YouTube. So essentially, the judge felt like, why should I penalize Porsha for violating and saying things that she said when you were saying things too? So it was kind of like the judge was like, look, the judge's exact words were, you and Porsha both have dirty hands. So essentially, he like, look, y'all both did it. So the judge didn't buy it. He didn't buy that. So unfortunately, Simon, I know he's saying that he wants to, appeal it. And who knows? I'm not sure with the appeals. I mean, it may be a situation where it goes to another judge. I mean, essentially, if it goes to another judge, he may have a shot. I personally do not believe that if he goes to that judge, I think that if he goes to that judge, I think he's going to have the same decision. And I'm going to tell y'all why. What I learned with that judge is he did not like to change things. Whatever he ruled before, he kept it. So this was like a continual thing that I saw him do throughout the trial. He sat there, And it seemed like, he was listening, but at the end, he kept it the same. So if he appeal, hopefully, he'll go to another judge, because if he goes in front of this judge, I don't think that he will, change it. An appeal will give him time, Meanwhile, he will not pay. Well, just so you know, just so y'all know, okay, if Simon appeals it, that doesn't mean that he is not supposed to honor the court order, just so y'all know. So I'm not a, attorney, obviously, but in order for everything to stop, I think his attorney would have to do something else. And in all honesty, the judge may not be willing to do it, because you got to also understand that Porsha's attorney presented that Porsha needed to hurry up and get the house refinanced. So right now, what if Porsha got the house refinanced? You see what I'm saying? So I don't know how they would do that. I have no idea how they would do that. Essentially, the judge has ruled. Simon could definitely file a appeal, but I don't know if the appeal halts or stops anything. I would assume that maybe, Simon's attorney could halt or stop the process. Who knows? She wanted to get paid. What? She can't have it both ways. He only agreed to give her money. He only agreed to give her money if she didn't work. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, Thelma. And Thelma, you making me remember everything. Thank you so much. Okay. So what Thelma is saying is absolutely true. Now, one of the other reasons why Simon is contesting the prenup, because what I learned in court, Simon said Porsha had a rough season, and he was not lying. She did have a rough season. Y'all remember, it was a situation with Bolo, whatever. Simon said that Porsha was like, look, I just want to chill. I don't want to do housewives no more. So essentially, what Simon said is the agreement that they came up with was the agreement that Porsha would not work, and therefore he agreed to say, okay, you're not going to work. This is what I'm going to give you to carry your bills. So what Simon is also saying is, wait a minute. I agreed to pay you because you did not work. Now, he testified to that in court. He said, listen, I understood that she wasn't going to work. I wanted to help her. I wanted to be able to provide for her. But here's the issue. Porsha, she's working again. So essentially what Simon's attorney wanted was for Porsha to provide her income. Thank you again, Thelma, because look, this is a lot. I be forgetting this stuff because it's a lot. So essentially, Simon, he really did have a good case. I just feel like the judge was so over it. So in all honesty, that prenup is 250 something pages. And Simon's attorney even read something where it stated that if, income change, that, essentially, payments could change, but the judge was just not trying to hear it. He was just not trying to hear it. So one of the, other reasons that Simon is disputing it, because again, circumstances change. What they agreed to is not really what's happening, because he agreed to pay Porsha a monthly salary because she wasn't working, right? So that's like, I know you ain't paying your kids $40,000 a month, but they grown now, but if they not working, I'll pay their cell phone bill. Little stuff like that. When you start working, pay your own bill. Like my son just got a job. I'll be like, boy, when you get paid, so you can pay this cell phone bill. So essentially, Simon agreed, which is nice. I mean, he's like, look, I'll pay this for you, but girl, you working. So he's like, look, if y'all want me to honor this prenup, bring in her income. I want to know what her income is, which makes a lot of sense. But again, the judge wasn't trying to hear it. So that's the issue. The judge wasn't trying to hear it. So he brought out some very good stuff. Like he had some good information. The things that his attorney fought for was good, but the judge just wasn't moving on this at all. I feel like the judge just was not moving on it. And I really honestly feel like it was not fair because the prenup, again, 250 something pages. That's a lot of information, but the judge was strictly like, you signed it. He signed it, but according to what I was hearing in court, there was other verbiage in there that was simply just being ignored, is pretty much what I thought. And in all honesty, these are my thoughts. I kind of felt like Simon being deported did not help his case in terms of, well, it helps his case in terms of he ain't got to pay the shit, but I felt like it did not help his case in terms of the way that the judge saw him. I feel like the judge probably was like, you deported anyway. So in all honesty, just sitting in the court, I feel like the judge was biased. I'm just going to be honest. I feel like he did not come there with a fresh, trying to hear, new information. I feel like he was stuck on everything that he had already knew. He seemed extremely biased. I don't know if y'all remember, if y'all were in my last chat a couple of weeks ago, we had found that it seemed like this judge was actually the judge for Simon's previous divorce. So I don't know about that judge. That judge he didn't seem fair. He didn't seem fair at all. In all honesty, they were talking about, Simon didn't bring, his income for what he claimed that he currently made, because Simon said, listen, I've been in ICE. I'm not making the money that I was I was making prior to. And they, wanted him to show proof. But Simon's attorney was like, look, Porsha hasn't shown anything. And in fact, Simon's attorney drafted out, these motions, wanted, Porsha to provide proof of income. And guess who said she didn't have to do it? Guess, put it in the chat. If you know who said Porsha did not have to provide proof of her income, bank statements, who do you think basically said she didn't have to do it? The judge. So the judge, the judge seemed very biased, guys. The judge seemed very biased. Now, I know some of y'all was saying that, the judge and Porsha's attorney was friends. I don't know. What if they are friends? The judge felt really biased to me. I'm going to be 100. And let me tell you what was the one thing that made me know that the judge was biased. One thing. Here's the one thing. They went to court for one reason and one reason only. And it was to basically, is the judge going to reinforce the prenup or not? Yes or no? That was the only reason they were in court. Well, if the judge is going to enforce the prenup, then the judge would just say, I'm going to enforce the prenup, right? So the judge decided to enforce the prenup, but the judge says, I'm going to enforce the prenup, but I'm going to let Porsha film in the house. And I'm like, whoa. The prenup says she can't film in the house. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just like, this judge is extremely biased because, judge, you had one thing to do. That was either to enforce it or don't enforce it. So how could you enforce something but not enforce everything within it? That doesn't make any sense. So when a judge said that, no, I'll allow it. And then Simon attorney argued and said, wait a minute, judge. I understand that the court is not going to rewrite the contract. So that would just pretty much mean one or two things. The court is going to enforce it or the court is not. However, the court can't change things within the contract. Well, that's exactly what the judge did. The judge said, I'm going to enforce the prenup. And guess what, Porsha? You can film in the house. So it's just like, huh? What is this saying? So it's interesting to think that that disclosure was in the prenup. I would assume she was fully expecting the film in the house after they got married. Well, so, okay, that's a good one, Tiffany. So, Tiffany, she can film in the house so long as she got permission. So in the prenup, it said that she just could not film in the house because the way that it was written, Simon wanted to live his life in private if he wanted to. He didn't want Porsha to just wake up one morning and bring Bravo in the house. So she could film provided she got his approval. So she could not film his property. She couldn't film his house or any of that without him saying, okay. So she could film pretty much as long as they were probably married and he agreed to it. So that was the one thing that the judge was like, nope, I'm gonna let her do it. So people like, I was like, yeah, this judge is biased because he actually changed the contract after he said he was just going to enforce the prenup, but he didn't even listen to the attorney. And the attorney was like, well, wait a minute, judge. And he just did not want to hear it. So after that, it pretty much let me know that this judge is very much biased. And that's just what I felt. I felt that he was very much private. I'm sorry, very much biased. I'm laughing at this chat. Somebody said the judge was not biased. Georgia law enforcement prenup, if they are valid, insert what? Listen, let me kind of explain y'all to something to y'all. I don't know if some of y'all people don't know how to have conversation. If you don't, just leave, because what you're not going to do is tell me what I didn't hear and what I didn't see. Now, I don't know if y'all know what differences in opinion is. Maybe y'all don't, but let me just kind of explain to you what it is. My opinion is mine and yours is yours. That's all it is. Because you definitely ain't going to tell me, and I was there and was tired for hours. It has been, let me see what you said. Mika, it has been known that the court system near those Atlanta countries are corrupt. It wouldn't be surprising that she may have known the judge. All I could say is that Makita, that just didn't make sense because, again, the judge either is going to reinforce the prenup or not. But you literally altered an agreement after you said that you wouldn't do it. So it's just like, look, I'm not a lawyer, but I understood that. So it didn't seem fair at all. And it didn't seem fair for that reason, because if the judge is going to enforce the prenup, he can do that. But you got to enforce everything within it. And that's what Simon's lawyer said. He says, well, judge, if this court decides to go with the prenup, then I'm certain that, this court would take back, that order that allows her to film in the house. And the judge like, nope, absolutely not. That's not true. Tyrese judge in his divorce case in Georgia threw out his whole prenup. Judges can do what they want. Okay, so I'm going to break it down for y'all because I don't think y'all quite understand. And listen, I'll say it again. Everybody can have their opinion, but don't tell me what ain't true. And I was there and you wasn't, Toria girl, you was not there. So let me break it down because y'all not getting it. The judges, they can't do what they want. They can do what they supposed to do within the law. So there were two things the judge can do: reinforce the prenup and order a regular divorce. Now, if the judge said, I'm not going to enforce the prenup, we just going to go the regular route, then the judge would just make a ruling based on whatever he decided at that point. The judge didn't do that. He said he's going to uphold the prenup. So if you're going to uphold the prenup, then you uphold the prenup. You can't say, I'm going to uphold the prenup, but she ain't got to do that. That is rewriting the contract. So keep in mind, that's not what they were there for. They were there for two things. Either you're going to reinforce the prenup or you're not. If the judge said, I'm not going to enforce the prenup, I keep saying reinforce, but if the judge would have said, I'm not going to enforce the prenup, then, as Simon's attorney said, because keep in mind, I'm learning this stuff as I'm there. I'm not a lawyer either. Simon's attorney said, if you don't enforce the prenup, then we would just proceed as a regular divorce. So what that would mean, the judge would say, hey, well, y'all got the house. Okay, we're going to sell the house. The judge would come up with whatever terms the judge thought was fair. But the judge said, we gonna honor the prenup. Well, the prenup said, girl, you can't film in the house. And then you said the judge threw out Tyree's whole prenup. So let me make sure you understand. So prenuptial agreements can be throughout, depending on, and you can probably find this anywhere on YouTube. Let's say you were getting married tomorrow. Let's say your wedding date was tomorrow. And let's say today you signed your prenup. That shit can get throughout, because what people typically say is they signed it under duress. The reason why the judge said we sticking with this prenup, because they negotiated it for 10 months. Their prenup was not a quick thing. They went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So the judge was like, there's no error here, because y'all had attorneys. You took 10 months to do a prenup. How do you tell the judge that it's an error in something that took you 10 months? So yes, the prenups can be throughout, but how are you going to get a judge to throw out a prenup that you negotiated for 10 months? So keep in mind, like I said, Thelma had to remind me, Simon was only contesting it based on a few different factors, which was Porsha was working. He said, listen, I did agree to pay her. And he testified, I wanted to pay her. However, our agreement was for me to pay her because she wasn't working. He's like, she's working now. So what am I paying for? Because what Simon is saying is, now you violated it, because I'm only paying you because you are not working. So Simon did not agree to pay Porsha because he just wanted to give her money. He agreed to pay her because she wasn't working. So I don't know what else to tell y'all. Well, he said he's going to continue to contest it. Porsha may have to move. Yeah, he did say that. He did say that. Being at that court was a lot. And like I said, I forget it because it was just so much. It was a lot. So, judges, can they do what they want? I mean, you can appeal it. They can do what they want and you can appeal it, because if they're not following the law, then you can appeal it. And I feel like this is a classic case for it, because they went to court to go with it or not go with it. And the judge, you changed it up, and that's not what they were there for. I feel like the judge was biased. I'm not going to keep repeating that, but I just feel like the judge was just not fair. Oh, girl, I was so exhausted. Like, oh my God, girl. I said, you know what? My daughter is gonna be a lawyer, and I ain't even tell her what I had experienced, because in my mind, I was like, girl, this what you finna be doing. I'm like, this what you finna be doing. Woo, that was a lot. Simon will not pay Porsha. Judges aren't supposed to abuse their interpretation of the laws. They have to uphold it. Exactly. And that's why, he may have a good case for, his appeal, because the judge either uphold the prenup or not, but you modified something when you said that you were going to reinforce the prenup or whatever. So judges are human. Everyone has a natural bias for one reason or another. If his lawyer can prove it, that's good. But if they're following the law, there's nothing you can do about right. And that's what I'm saying. He can appeal. His attorney will cite whatever reasons for the appeal, and they would just have to see how it goes. I mean, because like I said, y'all, I thought Simon's attorney was good. Like, she remembered things. She remembered dates. She was on it. And, I believe it was just her. But Porsha's attorney it was him, and then it was somebody else. They just seem they seem very unorganized to me. It just seemed, now I, been reading what y'all have said, and I looked up, Porsha's attorney. Obviously, he's supposed to be this big attorney here. So you never know what type of relationships people have. But that whole court hearing to me was BS. Even from the standpoint of Simon's attorney bringing a witness, and then the judge pretty much like, I don't want to hear from him. The judge was tripping. By the way, all the information about their divorce is now online. Yeah, I know, because I put it on there. Sonic Jackson. Yeah, that's probably my hearing that I recorded. Judge Judy or Milan would have ate this case up. They don't play. Well, he's not going to be able to claim he signed under duress. That's what I was telling you. I mean, how are you under duress for 10 months? That don't even make sense. Yeah, he probably shouldn't say that. Porsha was going to have someone to have the baby for her. What y'all talking about? Y'all talking about the baby situation? We got 500. 500. You know how, some people are. They don't, I don't know. I guess it's the evil in them. I don't know. I have no idea why you just won't hit the like button. But hey, you know how the saying go, you reap what you sow. He is not going to appeal that. He has bigger issues than I don't know, Toria. Did you see the whole video? I mean, he said he was appealing it. That's what he said. I mean, he said he was appealing it. I don't know, Toria, if you was here, but that's what he said. I don't know. I feel like he is, because honestly, I said Simon is over this. He in Nigeria. He don't care. That's what I thought. But he said he is appealing it. That's what he said. So, hey, I guess he would know if he want to appeal it. Okay, Gloria, what you say? Simon had it destroyed in, I don't know what that means. So I don't know. I mean, he said that some people probably wasn't here for the entire video, but Simon said that he was definitely going to appeal this. And, I thought maybe he was going to ride off in the sunset in Nigeria and live his great life, but he said he appealing it. So you think Simon's shopping for the next one? Well, here's the deal. It seems, from what Simon said, Porsha got in his DM. So maybe he would still be dating. I mean, if you guys recall, there were a few women that had come out and, they were saying that they were dating Simon. So I don't know, Porsha went in his DM according to Simon. So I don't know. So you said, do I think he's dating? I have no idea. I don't know. He probably is. I mean, hopefully he don't marry somebody within, 30 days or anything like that. But from what he stated, Porsha got in his DM and, it was up and it's stuck. So hey, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to answer that question. Is he dating? I mean, dating, I don't know. I can't answer that. He said he was going to appeal even if it has to he did. Thank you, Geneva. I'm like, I don't know what y'all talking about. The man said the Supreme Court, and some people in the chat like Simon is lit. No, Simon said that he is appealing this and he's going to continue to appeal it. And I thought he was over it. So I think that he's going to keep it going. Oh, I want to read this one. Sonic Jackson. Courts in Georgia heavily for enforcing prenups, especially when both parties were represented and it was executed voluntarily, unless Simon can show coercion or major procedural defects. And that's what I felt. When I was in court, I said, I feel like, Georgia is going to enforce those old prenups. And that's what I felt. That's kind of what I felt. I felt that. somebody said 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐜𝐫𝐞, but why appeal if he's going to be paying her lawyer fees? I guess he's just got so much money. I have no idea. Maybe he's just got a whole bunch of money. I feel you, because that's the only thing I can come up with. I mean, if you got a whole lot of money, hey, I guess a few more $100,000 don't matter. I have no idea. Porsha was complaining on the show she didn't have the money to pay her attorney. Yeah, she was complaining. But, the lawyer did say that, he had been receiving money from Porsha. Now, I don't know how much she paid him, but she did pay him something. I don't believe that he would have stayed, because this attorney that Porsha has, he definitely all about the money. So she was able to pay him something. However, I would, imagine that, she still owes him something. But yeah, Porsha, that guy Randy, he definitely about the money. Okay. Why feel sorry for Simon if he did really cheat on his wife with Porsha? That's his karma. I don't feel sorry for Simon. I mean, I said that, Simon he's an older man. I mean, I feel like he may have been a little, I don't know. I really don't, because I don't understand. He said Porsha came in his DMs, but I, I, I don't know. I don't know. Simon is 60-some years old. From my perspective, he should know a little bit better than that. He should have stayed with his wife, Falynn. Clearly, clearly he's the problem. Somebody said a booty chaser. Y'all is a mess. Somebody said African men at 60 are not old. Maybe anybody at 60 is old. So I don't know where that came from. Porsha attorney is from Bravo. Okay. She didn't supposed to work. God letting things happen for a reason. So yeah, like I said, I think he has some pretty good reasons to appeal, but if the judge decide to, uphold the prenup, then I guess you got to uphold the prenup. What y'all think Porsha gonna do when when she get them appeal papers? If I were Porsha, I would just find me another house. I think what would probably be best for her is just to sell, like sell it and take half the equity. I'm not sure why any single woman will want to pay $50,000-$60,000 a month. That's crazy. You need a husband for that, girl. I'm not paying that. If I could afford to pay it, I'm not paying that. For what? Why would I want to pay that? That's crazy. Let somebody else pay that. I'm not paying that. I would not pay it if I could. I wouldn't be surprised if we found out that the judge returned a favor. Simon team needs to do a deep dive. If there's a personal connection, Simon may have a chance. Well, let me kind of tell you about that, so that you brought this up. Let's kind of talk about it. So lawyers and, judges, they probably are friendly with each other. Just like, if you would go to a hospital, you got doctors and nurses. So I don't know if, Simon's attorney would want to say that, because no attorney wants to be looked at as somebody that ratted out a judge. So I don't know what their strategy is going to be. I have no idea, but I don't think that's going to be it. So I don't think that that's going to be it. Y'all got to understand is, people really don't want to come out and say stuff like that, even if they know it to be true. It's just, they just don't. I remember that. Sonic said, this life is a whole comedy. Y'all remember Simon all dressed up, strutting around his house like it was a runway while Porsha was playing camera woman. I remember that. And to have it all to fall to shit. But I'm going to tell y'all this. I don't know if I'm going to go through having 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100,000 weddings to, decide to get a divorce after 14 months. What was that all about? What was that all about? I don't know, Porsha girl. Did you really love him? Because it ain't giving it. Right. So, yes, there was something in the blogs about a lawsuit for unpaid private jet rides. I don't know whatever happens to that. That's a good question. I have no idea. So, Tiffany, what you saying? I never watched Porsha Family Matters, but I must go back and do it. I waited till Kim and Kanye got divorced before I went and watched some of those seasons. Girl, you got to go back and watch it. You got to go back and watch Porsha Family Matters. You got to see that Porsha acted a damn fool. In fact, the camera, I don't know exactly what camera person, but I know like the camera crew or something, they were like online and they were talking and they said Porsha acted. They said what we saw wasn't even half of it. They said I heard their cars got towed. It was so much stuff that had happened. They said Porsha is really a terrible person. That's what the camera people are saying. Allegedly. But yeah, they said Porsha is a horrible person. Candy, he have to be making that much money. Right. Exactly. Well, here's the thing, Candy. He has to be making money because who's going to keep paying an attorney to appeal something? You know what I mean? Who's going to do that? I mean, these attorneys is not doing this shit for free. Like, you have to pay them for their time. Like, they're not doing this for free. So it's clear he definitely got the money. It's very clear. It's very clear that he has the money. Why, he wants to, but I guess I get it, but I wouldn't ever be in this situation. So I don't know. Maybe, Simon thought that Porsha was going to be the love of his life. I don't know. Maybe that's what he thought. He thought, as he had found the love of his life, apparently. Oh, Porsha was. Listen, Sue Ann, I don't know which one of y'all said y'all didn't watch Porsha Family Matters. Porsha called Dennis' mama a B. I don't know what the other word. She was horrible. I don't understand why Dennis would even talk to her other than to say hi and just to be cordial, because the way she did his mama, as a matter of fact, I used to have it on my phone. She said called his mama a bitch. Let me see if I have it on my phone. I used to have that video. But the way Porsha did his mama, Dennis got to be a damn fool. Yeah, I used to have that video. I may not have it anymore. Let's see. I might have it. Let's see. Wait a minute. Yeah, I used to have it. Let's see if I can find it. Wait a minute. Yeah, the way she did his mama, it was hard to even watch. Called his mama a bitch. Sure did. And then said she hoped Dennis get arrested. Right. He had the little short bus. Right. Exactly. Somebody else said that Porsha really played herself. That man was always in Dubai. She could have kept doing her thing and still taking his money with all that drama. Hey, why she filed for a divorce? Why do y'all think she filed for a divorce? And then, judging from what Simon said, filed a divorce and then realized she had effed up and then wanted to reconcile, but it was already too late. It was already too late. It was already too late. So why would you file a divorce and then realize at some point that you don't want to be divorced? So I'm just trying to figure out what had happened, because girl, you filed for a divorce and then tried to double back and get your man back. But he was like, oh no, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. But y'all, yeah, I used to have that video. Let me see if I can find it. Well, Porsha cussed out Dennis' mama. Let me see if I can find it. I used to have that video. I may have it on another phone. Wait, y'all. I think I found it. I got to put it on my phone, though, because I can't really play that. Let me see it. I'm finna pull it up. I'm finna pull it up. I got it. I got to play it on my phone, though, because I can't put it on here. They're going to strike my video. Okay, y'all, I found it. I'm about to play it. Y'all want to hear it? I'm about to play it.
For, because we're trying to get to know you, Simon, and you seem like a perfect guy. Thank you. Your sibling brothers, are they anything like you, or is this night and day?
I would say a minute. Let me see if I can fast forward.
We run into cousins.
Oh, that's not it. That's not it, y'all. I'm trying to find the one where they actually had the fight. Not that one. So what I'm trying to bring up is during Porsha Family Matters, if y'all remember, they kind of were like, I don't remember what country they were in, but they had a huge fight. Now, during this time, Porsha called Dennis' mama a bitch. And that's what I'm trying to find. Let me see if I can find it. Porsha Family Matters. Porsha Family Matters. Oh, it says fight. Porsha Family Matters fight. I think this is it. No, that's not it. Yeah, I can't find it. We'll probably bring it up another time. She probably think he doing bad business deal. Yeah, it was Mexico. Okay, Candy. So, okay. So I'm gonna address your comment. You said that Porsha probably thought he was doing a shady business deal. Well, in court, they determined that that was a lie. Simon wasn't doing any kind of shady business deal or anything like that. But what Simon's attorney said is it, she said, Porsha, she said, is it maybe because you didn't understand? Because y'all know Porsha got like a kindergarten education. So what he said, I'm sorry, Simon's attorney said is, is it Porsha, you just didn't understand? Porsha did not have any proof of what she was saying. So she did testify that she thought something was shady, but to think something is shady, but actually have proof, yeah, whatever. So you thought that your husband was doing something shady, so you came back and filed for divorce. That don't even make sense. I don't know if y'all recall, Simon said that he even tried to call Porsha and she wouldn't even respond. So that's some bull crap. Wait, y'all, I think I found it. Why is this not working? I think I found it. Yeah, I think I found it. I'm trying to. I don't know why, but she did. Okay, that's not it. I'm trying to find this video. But yeah, I had a pretty good feeling his money was on the books when he went on the show. The first time his ex-wife had a pretty good deal. She wanted a piece of that. Y'all is putting some crazy stuff in the chat. Somebody said, isn't Simon his alias? I don't think that's his alias, but I think his real name is a little longer. But I think Simon is definitely a part of his name. Y'all know how it is. Your name is it can be you know how people have nicknames. I don't know if that's considered his alias though. Y'all be going, ooh, y'all know y'all be tripping. But I don't think that that's it, y'all. I really don't. I don't think that that's it. But if you have not, somebody put in the chat, you didn't see Porsha Family Matters, please go see it. Somebody said, I feel Porsha found out he really doesn't have 300 to 400 million. He may have a few millions, but he not as well. Here's the deal. You said he's not rich as she thought. Well, here's the deal. Who is she gonna ever meet that's gonna pay her $40,000 a month? So it really didn't matter how much money he had, because it don't matter who she meets. Nobody in her entire life existence will ever give her that. So the fact that maybe he don't have 300 to 400 million, he was never giving it to her. So I don't know, if it should matter. I mean, did she marry him because she thought he had 300 to 400 million? Keep in mind, they still had a prenup. He agreed to pay her $40,000 a month for every year that they were married. So 300 to 400 million, it wouldn't have done nothing for her. So I don't even think it matters. I mean, you married the man, y'all was engaged after a month. Like, how do you expect a person that you just met to be honest? Like, people be lying. I mean, come on now. I don't know. But I mean, so you think that maybe she filed for divorce because I don't know. I mean, maybe. I feel like what Simon said, I think that she used them for money. And she got the house and maybe felt like, she was going to go back to work and that was going to be that. So, I mean, I don't feel like Porsha ever loved him. I mean, first of all, they met very quickly. And as Simon stated in that interview, they moved extremely fast. That could not have been love. Right. I mean, there's nothing they can do with him. If he don't pay, what they gonna do? Nothing. I think one reason Porsha tried to sue you over the online content claiming she had bad credit was so she could mislead the banks and qualify for more credit to refinance it. I Porsha is, listen, I don't expect, a lot from Porsha. She thinks that it's 265 days a year. She's talking about an underground railroad. I don't take Porsha serious at all. I mean, when you're her age and think that it's 265 days a year and referencing the Underground Railroad, and then I don't know if y'all saw that episode where her daughter was saying that she didn't think her mama was that smart. Now, if my kids said that to me, I would be so crushed. Porsha thought that shit was funny. Okay, Goldie said, was he really giving her $40K a month? She ran to dodge the bullet. He was the one who was going to come up, not her. He was about to ride her wave to the bank. Ride what wave to the bank? If he was giving her $40K a month, what wave would he ride for her? Because I'm confused. Ride what wave? I'm confused. So he said that he testified in court that during the dating phase, Porsha said that, she had quit her jobs. So he gave her the $40,000 a month or something like that. So he did give her, you said her celebrity. I mean, if you think about it, during the time they were married, she wasn't working. So I don't know what celebrity wave he would have been riding. I mean, maybe, he thought that, I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, you would think, why would he give her this kind of money? What was, he hoping to gain in return? Maybe that could be it. I mean, that could be it. But good question. I mean, I always wondered, why would you agree to pay somebody this kind of money. Now I get what he said, he wanted to help her, but why didn't you put some kind of stipulation in the marriage, like be married for 5 years or something like that? So I don't know. I kind of feel like they, in a sense, played each other. I don't feel like, Simon is a total victim either. I feel like he definitely wanted Porsha for something, and it could be, she was a reality star. Maybe, that would help him in some kind of capacity. I don't know. But I do kind of feel like they kind of both was trying to get something out of each other, because I just don't see him as a stupid person. But I also feel like, at some point, maybe she didn't want to get married anymore. So maybe Simon is like, wait a minute, you ain't finna just have me sign a prenup to pay you, and now I don't get my end of the bargain. Because in court, Simon said that although Porsha hadn't worked, she hadn't went back to reality TV, she was talking to them about it. So at some point, they possibly knew that Porsha would go back to the reality TV. Who knows? Yes, and I don't know if you saw the episode, but Sonics, when I saw that episode of Porsha and her daughter, and that baby says that Porsha didn't know very much, I was like, ooh, that's too much. No, you didn't bring 50 in this mess. I want Porsha today 50 cents so he can be her Ayala. 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐷 to fix her life. 50 will make her regret ever scheming on men. You know what? I don't know, girl. Falynn leaving with nothing is a big sign that there was nothing there. She got with the pool boy. Well, this the thing. Y'all keep saying that. Falynn did not leave with nothing. Falynn just didn't come and tell y'all. Falynn got half of the equity as well. That is not true. Why do y'all think that Falynn left with nothing? You only know what Porsha got because she telling y'all. Falynn did get something. She, when Simon went through the divorce, he testified in court. He had a property in Miami. They had the property here. He split that equity with her. So that is not true. She did leave with something. That's not true. Why do y'all think that Falynn got nothing in? That's just not true. Falynn just didn't go through all of this. She just, pretty much, they signed or whatever. She got her money. He sold the properties and it was done. Simon has never had any business in the U.S., so why would he need Porsha? He only in the U.S. a total of 4 months out the year. Yeah, he don't really be here like that. And in all honesty, even when they were married, I don't know if it was just me, but I would always see him in Dubai. So I used to be like, dang, I guess he be in Dubai a lot. Honey, he was with, oh no. Honey, he was with Cuban Link. Porsha could never compare to all of that natural beauty. Natural beauty. Porsha takes her beauty off at night to go to sleep. Wait, it is a difference. It's a difference. It's a difference when you gotta buy the beauty, right? I bet she realized that she could have shut up and kept that lifestyle. Hindsight is 2020, but I'm not sure if she knows what that means, right? Right. Oh, y'all so dirty. Y'all is dirty. Dirty. Let me see if I got that image. Wait, let me see if I got it. Y'all real dirty. Y'all, somebody said you should post that picture. Let me see if I got it. I got it in my Rolodex. Let's see. Y'all so messy. I got it. I just don't have it. on here. Somebody said you should post that picture with Porsha. Messy. You say you sent me an image last week, Lily. Right. It's only funny because it's true. And you know what, though, Tiffany? This be the part that be so funny to me. It be actually chicks in on my page telling me I'm jealous of Porsha. And I'm like, listen, I like makeup, I like weed, but I'm going to tell you something about me. If I don't put it on, I don't look that much different. So my whole look ain't altered because I don't have on makeup. So listen, I'm not jealous of Porsha. I don't have to, put my whole look on to look presentable. I mean, so, some people do, but I'm just not one of them. I enjoy not wearing makeup sometimes. I mean, I wear makeup, but I really enjoy natural, no makeup. Like today, 100 and some degrees. I'm not putting on no damn makeup. It's too hot. I constantly, washing my face, putting on my exfoliant for my face. I'm not wearing no makeup. See, some people won't leave their house without their makeup on, a wig. You don't like yourself because I'm just not doing all of that. I'm just not. Right. I mean, I don't even know how to be jealous because I like what I like. I don't even know what other people like. I'm just not into it like that. Right. Right. Please. Even when I put my makeup on, I have 4 different exfoliants, because you know how people be having that dry makeup on. We see painted clown faces all day. Right. Too hot for me. Right, Lily. Too hot for me to put on makeup. And some days I keep my hair wrapped in a scarf or a baseball. Right. Like some days I don't want to do all of that. Like it's like I've been doing that for so many years. Some days I just want to relax and don't do that. But y'all know what? I'm going to be honest with y'all. I remember growing up, y'all know how y'all be in high school, and I had friends that would not leave the house without a full face of makeup. Like when I tell y'all by the age of 30, all of their skins was messed up. So I was never a person that put makeup on every single day because I watched people who, like my cousin, when we was like how maybe 15, she wore a full face of makeup. And when I tell you her skin is just so uneven and just, I'm like, look, I'll wear it, but I'm not gonna wear it like that. Portia and her sister is pretty to me. She pretty without makeup on. Yeah, I agree with you. Yes, it will. I mean, I've saw it. Like, I've saw, people that I know where they look so cute with that makeup on, but baby, when they take it off, you be like, girl, I'll never forget. It was a girl that never forget in high school. Now she wore a full face of makeup, and the teacher was like, "Look, I'm gonna let you go and put your makeup on." She looked like a whole monster without that makeup. Don't be impressed by an African, namely Nigerian, with dual citizenship. It's normal for them to move around and country hop. They have friends and put each other on wherever they go. So, do anybody know anything about Nigerians? Because people been saying some real bad stuff about the Nigerians. I don't know. They've been saying a lot of different stuff about the Nigerians, saying Portia should have known. I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. What y'all know about the Nigerians? Y'all know who is my number one housewife though? Angela Oakley. Angela Oakley is exactly what we need. Now, what they need to do is bring some more like her. I love me some Angela Oakley. Angela Oakley is what did Carlos say? the quintessential housewife. Like, she embodies it all. She's honest. She talks about her shortcomings. She talked about her properties, how she wasn't able to sell them. That's what I want to hear. These women come on here lying, talking about they got a chef. Kelly talking about she got security. Get the fuck out of here. Like, they lie too much. Like, be a regular person. You coming on how you come now, I like Kelly, but girl, how you live in a condo with a chef, a security? Why don't you take that money and move in a house? Like, it's just all of this fake stuff. It's just too much. It's just too much. I like Angela. Well, you know what? Based on what Angela said, now I don't know if y'all watch Carlos King interview. Based on what Angela is saying, Kelly is most definitely a flip-flopper. Now, I'm not saying that Britt Edie is not crazy. Now, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is Angela said that what she noticed pretty much is when people start to peep Britt, that Kelly kind of flip-flop. I believe it. Oh, somebody's okay. Miss, you said I learned back in the 80s and 90s that they were your best scammers in New York. See, I've been hearing a lot of stuff about the Nigerians, y'all. That's a shame. Somebody said Angela has not been honest. She's just gotten a good edit. I don't think she got a good edit. How is that? The first episode, her wig was falling off. I don't think she got a good edit now. I don't think so. You said Angela is not honest. What she ain't honest about her husband? Because people been dragging her about her husband. And I'm like, let them people stay married. I heard Nigerian and Mexicans the worst. What people to cross? None of them women are honest about their husbands. Somebody said none of those women are honest. What you mean? Angela consistently, what y'all say? Angela consistently plays Charles fool. She ain't never waver. Somebody says you dated a Nigerian. What you say about the Nigerians? Dated a Nigerian many moons ago, and he love bombed me with gifts. Once we were in a relationship, he refused to. Oh, girl, I'm staying away from them because everybody keeps saying bad stuff about the Nigerians. Now, this is when I start to really see the bad stuff about the Nigerians. People will be putting in my chat, Simon, a Nigerian, he ain't paying. And I'm just like, what? Like, what y'all talking about? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. News girl said, it seems like Porsha was with Simon for his lifestyle and money. According to Simon, that's what he thinks. That's what he said. We can tell Kelly's husband is a deadbeat. And he was ugly. Have anybody saw? Let's bring up a picture of him. Listen, I know, the dude ain't got to be fine and all of that, but he is jacked up. Kelly's ex-husband is a mess. Y'all, did y'all see a picture of him? He a mess. Let me see if I can find a picture of him. But I saw a picture of him. He a mess. Let me see if I can find a picture of him. That man is a mess. Kelly Farrell's husband. Ooh, baby, let me see if I can find a picture of him, y'all. Look at this shit. Look at this. Look at this. Y'all, look at this. I'm finna show y'all this. Kelly, this is a picture of Kelly for real husband, y'all. He a mess. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this fool. Look at that. Why would she marry him? He looked like a devil. Look at that. He looked like the devil. Like I'm not saying you got to be fine, but he don't look right. Like, look at this man. This is who she married. Wait, y'all, I had to share it again because it keeps. Let me see here. Let me stop sharing it. Y'all, listen, look, this is her husband. Here he is right here. This is Kelly's husband. He don't look right. This Negro dude, he look like you gotta watch him. Like he just. And another thing, has anybody noticed what is going on with Kelly's face? It's like she keep having different her face, it keeps changing. Yeah, Kelly's face is giving me like different. It's just like, did y'all see the reunion looks? Like she just, let me see if I can find it. Her lips look big. I wish Kelly would leave her face alone. Let's look at Kelly's face. Kelly's face is giving, leave it alone, girl. Let's look at the reunion looks, y'all. Let's see if we can look. Y'all look at this. Look at this. Let's look at Kelly's face because I mean Kelly needs to stop. Stop with all of this. So this is the reunion looks. Now, can y'all see her lips? Like they're like. Did y'all see this? Let's see if I can. Okay, let's look at Kelly lips. Look at her face. What is she doing to herself? Like this is a mess. I like the dress, but what did you see? Like her face? It's like if y'all even go online, you see different versions of her face. Like what is she doing to her face? Leave your face alone. Like it's like something is going on with her lips or something down here. Can I zoom in? Let's see. You can't see it. Let's see. Can I? Yeah, I don't. Let me see if I can go to another page. Because I'm sharing, it doesn't let me zoom in. Like if I wasn't sharing, it would. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find another one. Let's see. Let me see if I can find another picture because that one is not really letting me zoom in because I'm on. Okay, here's one. So this one might work. Let's see if this one works. Okay, wait, this one might. Yeah, it's not really going to let me zoom in though. We can try this one. Because I'm sharing the screen, it doesn't let me zoom in. But let me see if I can show y'all another one. Can y'all see that one? Is that better? Yeah, her lips. It's something she did with her lips. I like the dress too. But she did something down here and it don't look right. It almost looks like it's swole. So maybe she had some kind of cosmetic work done. But I really wish she leave her damn face alone. Like you're not ugly. Why do you constantly keep doing stuff with your face? Right. That's what I'm thinking. I think she must have had some procedure and it's swelling and it hasn't went down. Again, if you go and Google Kelly, she has so many different versions of her face. And I mean, she needs to just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Well, y'all, I'm about to go to bed. It's my son's birthday in the morning. And I don't know what we're going to do. My son is going to be 24. So everybody should go back and watch the first season of HLA. These were some real ass faces. What's HLA? I don't know what that is. Good night, Lily. I don't know what HLA is. Somebody let me know what that means. Oh, RHOA. I know. Good night, y'all. I'm about to go to bed. Y'all, I will see y'all tomorrow.